Let's admit the other ones in. Okay. Hello, Shad. Shad, tell me where you're from, or which country, continent? Hebron, Nico, hello. Hello, Chadi, or Shadi. Lusaka, Hebron is here. Hello, Aquilina. We have Nico, Nicolina, Aquilina. Lovely rhymes. Elvira, just please confirm Southern Africa. Okay, hi. Elvira, just confirm that you can hear me well. Excellent, thumbs up. Okay, we've got John here, so let's see if we're gonna wait for another minute and then we will start with the presentation. Okay. If you have any questions now, even now, please do post them. Absolutely no problem. Excellent. Thank you, Nico. Aquilina, did you tell me that you are, no, you are Shad is in Zambia. We have Southern Africa. Aquilina, may I ask you where are you joining us from? Which country? Oh, Lusaka, Zambia. You did say, I think so. Sorry about that. Oh, do we have two people from Zambia? The neighbors, and Nico from Ethiopia. Lovely. Absolutely great. Absolutely great. Elvira, you give me the thumbs up, please, when you want me to start with the presentation. And I can do that.
I think we can start in a bit,
Okay.
Maybe a couple of minutes, and we start.
No problem at all. And once when I'm on a presentation, Elvira, can you take over to admit people into the meeting? Yes, okay, that's good, good.
Definitely.
Excellent. All right, let me start sharing the screen. If we can check that that's working okay. All right. If you can just confirm in a chat that you can all see nicely the whole, the presentation, the slides, the first slide that we're gonna have today. That's what we want. Right. I think
we can start.
Excellent.
And the people can join later on so they can catch up.
Absolutely. And also we've got the recording so people can have a look.
Exactly.
At it. Lovely.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, welcome everyone. And thank you, Elvira, and for hosting me today, where we sort of decided that we're going to share the 2023 digital marketing trends. I'm not going to spend a lot of time introducing myself because most of you have seen that I am currently based in Zimbabwe in Africa, and I help businesses and marketing professionals with their social and digital marketing qualifications through the Digital Marketing Institute, which are internationally recognized diploma and generalist certification. And I also do individual sort of company as well as sort of individual mentoring of marketing professionals, business owners, and the likes of those who are interested, obviously, in this industry. So without further ado, you can look at my, I hope I can connect with most of you on LinkedIn, and I think lots of us are connected already on LinkedIn, but you can also check the website as this per first slide. So let's talk about digital marketing trends. A lot of interesting stuff. So what today I'm going to just go through as quickly as possible through the slides, and Vera's going to be helping me with some of the interactions. We're going to invite you to some of the questions, of course, and your comments. Your country experiences would be lovely to get from you as well. We are spread all over mostly Africa, but I'm sure there's going to be others as well. Would love to hear your sort of experiences, your thoughts about it. But in a nutshell, what we're going to cover today in this hour is just quickly touch on about the future and the digital, then talking about digital marketing trends, and that's going to be our focus, and as well as then go into sort of like the subsections of digital marketing, being the social media, content marketing, and maybe for those who have a bigger companies, touch on Martech trends as well. So without further ado, we really have to acknowledge first and foremost that future is digital, and actually digital is now. So there is absolutely no escaping of that, and therefore our digital tools and the digitally based strategies really have over the past decade shaped the businesses, how they operate and how they need to adopt these tools in order to stay competitive. So this is absolutely the indispensable aspect of any business. And therefore, doesn't matter if it's an SME or micro or solopreneurs, we need to adopt these digital channels and cultivate these strategies, also such as hybrid work and working from home strategies in order to really stay competitive. And that's why I always said at the beginning, there is no escaping it. So digital is here. Us as digital marketers, but also as owners of SMEs, managers in SMEs, and solopreneurs, I strongly feel that we should have at least one of these skills under our belt. And why am I saying that? Well, I'm saying that because this economy is all now digital, we shouldn't always delegate all the thinking and decision making to everyone else. We need to develop some of these skills, even if they are at the basic level, such as digital marketing, that we can then manage effectively the teams around us. So if we are having a business that is now, it's a startup, or we are starting up the business for ourselves, it's very useful for someone to, in this digital era, for example, to have digital marketing skills. Also, it is paramount to have search engine optimization skills. Maybe computer programming and cloud computing, and maybe some of the UX web design, it is maybe down the road. But for us, in order to effectively manage our businesses in this digital economy, in this digital world, I strongly recommend and feel that, and I have seen with those who have really embraced one of these skills, then they're able more comfortably and competently move their business forward. So that's why I was outlining this. And therefore, with this dawn of digital technology, as I said, business owners, managers, traditional marketers, they need to upskill their tactics and strategy to stay above the competition. Very, very simple, but not so easy. I would like to talk about now the trends of the digital to start. As you can see, I'm not going to maybe spend a whole hour just giving you endless presentation and slides. As I say, we're going to invite you as well to comment, to advise us what it works in your economies, what works in your business. So as I say, let's start with first slide on digital marketing trends. And I always start most of my presentation that what comes first. We need to have a solid foundation. Very nicely, I think the Mercury News, I've taken this quotation from them. They're saying that one viral TikTok, or in brackets, Facebook or Instagram video, won't take you very far if you don't have a website. So the foundation of the digital marketing and marketing today, it really is having a website. A website will therefore capture the leads. It will provide the ongoing content to keep people engaged, and that will feed to other digital marketing channels, for example, email marketing, to stay on top of mind. So at the core of digital marketing is having a website. And that website, as I say, hopefully we will have other gatherings together where we can unpack that, how and why, and predominantly how, to do the websites. But that will allow us that critical platform, that foundation, where we can then put and plug in all the other digital marketing channels. So having the strategy of digital marketing that fits into the marketing strategy of your company or your startup, or the activities that you are doing, needs to then be part of your overall business strategy. So you need to, when we come back to the digital marketing strategy, which is the component, as we said, of the marketing strategy and your business strategy, then we need to have various touch points. We need to have the SEO. We need to have an email. We need to have a social media channels. Maybe we will be investing into PPC ads or native advertising or display advertising and so forth. But let me reiterate here. We need to have a solid foundation. This is not a trend for 2023. This is something that we need to start with because we are in this digital economy. And this is not a fad that is going to go anytime soon or ever. So when we are looking at digital marketing, specifically trends for 2023, I felt that these are the activities that it's a must-have for small and medium businesses. The first and foremost is really to understand the whole mobile penetration in Africa. We have lots of participants for Africa and globally. So having an optimized, the first two bullet points here, obviously referring to the website, having that mobile optimization, but also for social media, is absolutely paramount. We cannot afford to have a website which is not mobile friendly. And that's why we can see that everyone is using social media on their mobile phones. Yeah, so therefore our posts as well need to be tailor-made for that, for example, particular social media platform. The next thing that we need to be aware of is the SEO. SEO is search engine optimization. One thing is to have a website on the internet, and I call them usually sort of a postcards on the internet, but they're actually just a brochure website. But the second thing, and most importantly, is once when we have the website, let's make sure that we optimize it for the search engines. So when people are looking for us, our customers are looking for us, we can then come onto that first page of Google or first page of Bing, and the search engine algorithms really see our website as a good quality website, and we are then having more success in that search traffic. So if somebody is, I think that one of our participants here is possibly, I think, in apparel or clothing, when somebody is looking at the sort of ethnic African, for example, clothing or ethnic clothing as such, SEO will help us that we appear on the first page of SERP. So there's a very interesting now movement when it comes to influencer marketing within this sphere of digital marketing. Influencer marketing has really moved in the last sort of year or so from the celebrity to micro influencers. Yeah, celebrities are usually sort of costing a lot of money. They have huge followings, but is this the most effective influencer for your business? We know now that micro influencers, for example, have much smaller following. They will have 1,000 or tens of thousands of followers, maybe 100,000. Nevertheless, they have much more engaged audiences. And this is very important because the celebrities are seeing someone sort of like maybe detached from us ordinary people. And micro-influencers are within our community. These are the people that we relate to. We follow them because we have very, very similar traits and interests. So this is something that I feel that the SMEs can use it and start finding your micro-influencers within your community. So if it's something that you can please contribute to, please put your comments in a chat box, and we can then unpack that and what are your experience and thoughts of that. To move forward while you are typing into the comments box is that we are now looking at, and we have always been looking at, the short videos. At one point we're looking at that maybe we need to be looking at, that we need to be creating a long videos over 15 minutes or so. They still have a role to play. Nevertheless, when we are looking at social media platforms, we are really looking at the videos which are preferably under 10 minutes. Under 10 minutes. And this really comes in line with sort of audiences pay attention span. You know, we usually sort of come to social media to be obviously entertained. We are looking, we don't have, we are not deep diving into the topics when we are necessarily on some of these social media platforms. So it really fits that the short videos really match the audiences that are using the social media platforms. Okay. Now, another development that is being sort of interestingly going through in 2022 is that we are using social media as the customer service tool. In some of the countries, such as Zimbabwe, Zambia, maybe in Southern Africa, we're almost used to this because we communicate a lot because of the lack of GDPR, some of the rules, how marketings can market their product. We can more freely use, for example, WhatsApp platforms. And it would be interesting to hear, do we have that in, for example, in Latin America or possibly in Asia? But really, we are seeing the trend now that social media is now used as the customer service tool. So we are going to be seeing more of people going into the messenger or direct DMs, direct messages, to communicate with your business, or the brand that you are developing. And one of the other things that I need to mention at this point is that as the SMEs or solopreneurs, we need to be looking at the omni-channel strategy. What does that mean? This means that we, in addition to having a website that then plugs into different channels, and our digital marketing strategy needs to evolve that we are using multiple channel strategy. That strategy means that we need to know where our customers are, but we do not focus our business, for example, only on one social media platform. I usually say to my clients and my students that don't build your business on one social media platform, which changes goalposts quite frequently. Because to my mind is that if you are using just a single channel, such as one of the social medias, it's almost like building your own home, your own house on a rented piece of land. Okay, that it doesn't make sense because the Facebook is not owned by you. Twitter account is not owned by you. So we need to be thinking of having that solid foundation and then use the social media channels based on where our audiences are. So we create this omni-channel strategy. So these are the sort of must-do activities for SMEs. And I'm just going to see now if everyone has a comment or a question at this point. Elvira, if you could facilitate that for me, please, and help me out.
Actually, I just asked everyone to share their questions. So if we will have something, let's share the questions now so we can have a discussion as well. So if you have any questions, please add them to the chat and we will be talking about that.
Yes, absolutely. Or just your opinions as well.
Exactly.
Okay. All right, while we're doing that, I'm going to move on to the next slide because I feel that there is other tactics that we could be considering. And one of the important aspects of this is that, especially when we're talking to solopreneurs, because I think there is a few of them today joining us or planning to join, and possibly they will watch the recording, is that we need to consider yourself as the brand. Okay. We can see very successful entrepreneurs who see themselves as a brand. So you're building yourself as a brand. I wrote a couple of blogs about that. So if you go to the website, you can sort of read more about it. But I just want to plant that idea that even if you can see very successful brands around the world, but for example, it's pivoted around the CEO, isn't it? You know, you can tell me the examples that you like most. So one of the important thing is to have that mindset that you are the brand as well and develop that as well. The next thing that I really would like you to also consider, and it is the trend for 2023, it evolves, is that prioritization of social responsibilities and activities on them. You cannot be on every social media platform that it's, you know, even popular in your part of the world or the country. It becomes exhausting, absolutely exhausting. And therefore you need to be thinking about very clearly where are your audiences? A lot of the time I get the question and people are asking me, you know, Nicolina, where shall I be? You know, which social media platforms should I choose? Well, the answer to that is that where are your audiences? Yeah, do you know who your audiences are, or you're saying, well, I sell to everyone? Well, if you sell to everyone, you sell to no one. Okay, so you need to be thinking and we in digital marketing, you see, this is how it all links together to trying to educate yourself as well with some of the, I told you, must-have skills, is that developing the audiences or personas of the avatars of your business is really something very important, and that you would, for example, learn if you're taking a short course on digital marketing or social media. The core is to understand your audiences, and from there decide which marketing channels are the best to use, especially when it comes to social media. One of the interesting things is always we talk about this inbound marketing. Inbound marketing has been around for a while and really remains the best practice to grow brands, and therefore it is the trend for 2023 and going forward. What does that mean? Well, it means that you are creating a content that is attracting people back to your website. Okay, but first of all, it can be attracted, you know, people can see something on your social media feed, But from there on, where do you then take them? Yeah, social media.
شرحت قبل
Hi, Salma. Okay, we had Salma there for a minute. Okay.
Yeah, hello dear.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine, and you?
Fine, thank you. Sorry for the late joining you.
No problem at all.
Thank you.
Okay, stay with us.
Yes,
And don't
sure.
forget to mute your mic if you don't have any questions. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about inbound marketing. Inbound marketing is when you are creating a content which is going to be now on the internet, and people, when they're searching for your service or your product or your cause, they are going to find that in a search results. And therefore, then they're going to be interested and come to your website. So, you know, there is much more to inbound marketing, but you have to understand, for example, a billboard is a sort of like you are as a business owner, you are pushing out the message. Yeah. And people look at the billboard and they say, okay, that's nice, that's interesting. But the inbound marketing is all centered around the internet. And when people are searching for something on the internet, they will type something in a Bing search box or Google search box, and they will get results. And your aim is that your website and, you know, some of your social media platforms that you own, not own, but you are active on, appear in that search. And therefore, inbound marketing still remains the best practice. And then we have other things like a conversational marketing and the user-generated content, which I'm going to skip for now because we're going to come back to it in a social media, a slide. Okay, let me just check if there is any questions. Elvira?
No, till now we don't have questions.
Okay, well, that means that everyone knows everything. That's lovely.
Yeah, I think it's good if we can start like sharing some questions, concerns, so that we can have a discussion at the end of the session. So please feel free to add your concerns, your experience, your questions directly to the chat, so that we can have a discussion at the end, and then Nicolina can share her tips, alerts, and recommendations with you as well, guys.
Yes, absolutely. Okay. In the meantime, so let's move to talk about some other concept. I really was keen to sort of share with you the trend that is developing. And some of you will know that in sort of a sales and marketing, we have a funnel, yeah, where the marketing is there, the sales are there, and then the customer. It is very interesting that, you know, we need to think about this digital era. How do people make decisions today? Yeah, they ask their networks for the advice, and then they will go online and they will search possibly for your company on social media. And a lot of them are reading third-party reviews. So what we are having now in digital marketing is something called the flywheel. The flywheel can be a sort of, it has a customer and growth absolutely in the center. And it uses that momentum of how fast does it turn and how big it is. It is all about the customers then to drive the referrals and the repeat sales. Yeah, so your businesses keep spinning from attracting, engaging, and delighting your customers. It is not just attracting, engaging sale. We have attracting, engaging, and delighting your customer, providing superb customer service that will then allow your business to grow. Okay, so a lot of you might have seen this concept for the first time, and I strongly encourage you to, for example, that you Google what is a flywheel in digital marketing and read more about it, because this is too short of a session to go into details of that. But I really wanted to alert you that we are seeing, with the previous slide, we were talking about how we're using social media, you know, as a customer service tool. Yeah, and now this is related also to how do we see our businesses, because when we provide exceptional customer service, you know, our business, of course, will grow better and better, and it will get bigger and bigger. Okay, so when we are moving on to the subset of digital marketing, into the social media marketing trends for 2023. One of the things that we are seeing we have seen through 2022 and now extending, we're already, you know, in the first quarter of 2023, we are seeing that more and more things will be selling on social media. People will be using, we're seeing the platforms now themselves, like such as Facebook or Meta, you know, developing the e-commerce sort of platforms, and that they are trying to sort of keep the customers and selling happening on social media. So how are you going to adopting your business, you know, to be ready for selling on the social media as well? So that's why we have to be thinking that most marketers, but also the business owners of SMEs, you need to be focusing on 3 to 5 social media platforms. Again, how you're going to choose those platforms is all about that we were talking about just now, about really understanding granularly your audiences. As I say, it's not enough that we are just saying we are selling our clothes to women. What subset of women? Is it the maternity clothes and you're selling it only to maternity, sort of maternity outfits? Are you selling only to the young ladies, you know, 18 to 24? Are you selling it maybe to the only men? You know, you need to, okay, we're selling to women, but the subset is that who are we selling to? We really need to understand that and then focus all our activities on social media platforms. And what we're seeing that most of the time businesses will have 3 to 5 social media platforms, which is then sort of manageable if we are using the right digital applications to allow this job to be easier. That leads me very nicely into the topic of resharing. The customers anymore these days are really not happy to see that the same content has been reshared in absolutely the same way across the platforms. It doesn't cut it anymore. Yeah. So the content at very minimum needs to be adjusted to that specific social media platform, and again to speak to those audiences, because you will not necessarily have the same audiences on Instagram and on Facebook, or on Twitter and on Facebook. And you can see a lot of the time, even the big brands, sometimes they are literally just copying and pasting things from Facebook and Instagram. Even some of them, I've seen some of the financial institutions, and then, you know, they haven't even resized the image itself, so it sort of like really looks quite amateurish. So we need to be thinking of that we are not resharing the same content across all the platforms, because we don't have the same audiences and people on every platform, and therefore we need to understand these audiences to provide them the content that really speaks to them or being on that platform. It resonates with them. As a small business owners, we really can sort of harness the power of what we call user-generated content. And user-generated content is when we get people coming, we invite people to share some of their experiences, when they're using our products, how they were happy with that service, and so forth. So we're encouraging our users to then create the content that they will share on their own platforms, and obviously give us, almost like a word of mouth referrals. The other thing is that we can easily use to get to these days with our mobile phones and the smart mobile phones, is that we can really aim to grow our audiences with live streaming. This is what we're doing here, but also we can be doing that on our social media platforms. And this is a very effective and very non-costly, not a costly way of promoting and growing our audiences. So these are, as I say, these are some of the key social media trends for the SMEs that we need to be thinking about, and they are sort of like cost-effective ways of doing it. When it comes
Nicolina,
yes, please.
Nicolina, we had a question about USG. If you can explain more details on that, on how
what,
to
sorry,
do it. Content generation. If you can come back one slide. Yeah.
Yeah, user-generated.
Yeah, so user-generated content. So if you can explain more, because we had this question.
Absolutely.
And also, I have additional question for SMEs who are not able to set up a website today. So what will be an alternative option? Because we all know that today we have a lot of free options like Google websites, like registration on some marketplaces, maybe creating a blog. So based on your experience with the small businesses and entrepreneurs, if they are not able to manage a website today, but are willing to share content and are able to generate content, what will be the solution in addition to the social media? Because we know that sometimes we need the backup, we need to have this lead generation, we need to redirect some content to social media. So what you suggest as well?
Well, what is very important is that you obviously have this sort of landing pages, and you have said one of the non-expensive way, free way to do it is obviously registering your business on Google My Business, GMB, Google My Business. It can put us sort of on a map as well. It's linked to the map so people can easily find us. In Google My Business, we can communicate with people. They can send us the messages. They can even phone us. We can share our updates. And as you said, we also have Google websites. We can create on WordPress, where very easily just a sort of, or Blogger, we can just create a sort of a very simple one-page website. My absolute preference is, because it gives us so many, and it's not the affiliate link or anything here, it's Wix, W-I-X, where you can start. It has fantastic tools. My first website was also in Wix, and it allows us to sort of create a very free website, but the content on it. But of course, we also have, then the cost of the domain name and the hosting, which we need to sort of unpack. But I suppose, what you have said, Elvira, Google website, Google My Business, then supporting that with your social media is a good start. And your experiences, Elvira, with the micro businesses, where do they prefer starting when they move away from the social media?
Yeah, actually, the problem is usually in developing countries is the hosting and domain name, because it's not easy always to pay online and to have this commitment, yearly commitment. So sometimes businesses, they are starting to do a website, and later on they are obliged to shut down the website and find alternative solutions. So it's always good to have like a plan B for the website. It's ideal to have a website and to create the content and link it to the social media and other stores. but unfortunately, sometimes it's not the only solution available. So some businesses, they prefer to go on marketplaces.
Absolutely.
And create their e-store there. But also we have some limitation depending on the countries, because some of international marketplaces, regional marketplaces, they are not available for everyone.
Correct.
Unfortunately, this is the situation. Also, some businesses, they are very good content creators, so they start like doing a blog to share their challenges, to share their opportunities, the work they are doing, why they are doing that, to have this engagement with the target audience. So sometimes it's not only about doing sale,
No.
or it's more about having this connection with the potential customers and make them understand that we have something special and we have a value proposition, unique value proposition for our business. So like you mentioned before, it's not easy today, yes, but we should always like think about what is different, what service or product we can provide that will be a bit different and unique, and how we can respond to a certain demand or need. So sometimes maybe even the communication, even WhatsApp, sometimes it's a good way to start a business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there is no one rule. There is no one rule. It depends on the personality of the entrepreneur, on the skills, products and services provided, location. But it's always good to move on, to start with something and test and move from one sales channel to another one and have this experience.
Omni-channel, like being multiple channels, you know, even if that is just, you know, being active on WhatsApp. We have now WhatsApp for Business, which is very good, you know, for small and medium businesses, and in a lot of the developing economies, this is the channel, which is fantastic, you know. But ultimately, as you have said, and we didn't just allude, ultimate aim is to, one way or the other, get a website, so you can be driving that traffic and ultimately developing that, you know, so to sort of really allow your business then to mushroom. Yeah, because as I say, the whole digital is moving and it is there, and ultimately that's where we need to be. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm seeing any other chats, or if I'm, yeah, can you please help us with that? Any other question? We said user-generated content. Yeah? So user-generated content is, for example, we can create some of the small competitions and exposures, but also if you have services, this is all about testimonials and experiences that you encourage your users to share, as I say, on their, for example, personal social media accounts, and they obviously tag you as a business, but it's user-generated, is not coming directly from you as a business. It is your users who generate the content and then share it on their platforms. And there are certain techniques that you can, as I say, encourage people to create that and they share it as such. Yeah. And then, as I say, we said live streaming, but let's go to the next slide. The content marketing trends are really interesting, because when we're talking about the content, we're talking about your imagery, text that we are providing, but video really remains the top marketing content format. And we mentioned that we shouldn't be striving to creating a very long ones. We should be keeping them around 10 minutes or less. Because people's attention span, people really they need to be very creatively made. I wouldn't say professionally, because that is something that definitely we are looking at, that the big brands, they always have this very polished content, and we are now seeing that people are not reacting very well. And this is really the beauty of us small and medium business owners, that we can create a more live, generic, everyday content that people are reacting much better than super polished, super polished content that some of the big brands are able and putting online. But video really remains the top marketing content, and having even a basic smart mobile phone, we are able to do those videos, and as SMEs, we need to be playing around that and really experiment as much as we can. We mentioned blogging. Blogging is, as we say, we can be a really good start for us on some of the blogging platforms to start creating the content about who we are as a business owner, what is our product, what is, as Elvira, you said, value proposition. But blogging is really important because creating also that written word. Videos are great, and we put all the description of the videos and everything, but having that written word, it's all about that we have that footprint with the search engines, which are obviously searching for content. Yeah. So blogging is definitely here to stay. It doesn't need to be, very, as I usually say, it doesn't need to be a PhD thesis. It needs to can be very concise, to the point. Let's write, for example, around 500 words or so, but it's engaging, is educational, is informative. It is timely. It is something that we know that our audience is really interested in, and it will then resonate with them, and they're going to keep coming and searching for us. And sometimes we focus, maybe as SMEs, too much on the selling part and not enough on educational part and informative. Then sometimes it can really be humorous as well. So let's think about out of the box as SMEs, how we can leverage both the video content and the blogging, the articles, the content, written content that we're writing as well. And all of that also fits into it, that we can use and should be consciously looking to use the testimonial from the customers. These are the sort of like the words of praise that we are getting from our customers. We encourage those, even on the social media. If we're getting a good direct message, somebody's telling us, I really like what you are doing and your product and everything, we can turn that into a social media post. Yeah, we can turn that and spread it in our WhatsApps, where we can be in a groups, or we can be in a broadcast list with our potential prospects. So testimonial, success stories, and maybe sometimes even a case studies if we have some digital marketing or those digital products, and some will really drive leads and create that brand credibility. So we all as SMEs need to be thinking about how we can leverage these testimonials and words of praise, and then turn them into the content and push them out. One of the things that it's interestingly re-emerging again, it's been popular a few years ago, it is the infographics. Infographics are really, for those of you who are using, for example, Canva, they are, again, there is no association of mine or a financial or otherwise with Canva, but the infographics are a really useful tool to describe processes or the way your value proposition is in a graphical form with some basic information attached to it. So this is one of the content marketing trend that interestingly is re-emerging again. And I suggest that you, as SME or solopreneur, entrepreneurs, that you look into that and look at the tools on Canva or something like that, how you can create an infographics. as such.
Nicolina?
Yes, please.
Before going to the next slide, we have a question: how we can get testimonials, how we can make our customers share a good testimonial with us. So
Yeah.
what is the secret? And also I have a question concerning infographics, because I know that many SME, they avoid to use infographics because of the data.
Of the data,
so
yeah.
they are afraid to add some information that they are not owning, or to have this sourcing of data. So what do you suggest for SMEs on how to display the content on infographics? For example, if they are doing a research and they have certain numbers, so what is the best way to display the data and have this referral on the social media post?
Well, let's
see, because we also.
Yeah, I hear you. When you're doing some of the research, of course, you cannot disclose a lot of this data is obviously protected, and you know, your competitors are looking at you and you don't want to be disclosing all of that. You create enough data at that sort of a top level of your research to generate the interest. Yeah, so sometimes, and a lot actually in the digital marketing and social media marketing, less is more. Yeah, so you need to try and create the content that will generate the interest, so people can sort of say, oh, let me contact them to discuss this further, or to find out more. Yeah, so we definitely do not start disclosing this data. One of the, for those of you who are building and using LinkedIn, for example, for building yourself as a brand or your business as a brand, there is a good platform that LinkedIn is directly linked to, is called SlideShare. So you create the slides and you then upload it in the app called SlideShares, which then it can be easily shared on LinkedIn, and also it gets picked up by the search engines. So, but again, I hope, Elvira, that I answered your question. We choose what kind of level of data we put on the infographics or the slide shares and the like, but let's keep in mind that we don't do an in-depth analysis and disclose the data that cannot be shared for whatever reason, that we do it at the sort of a lead generation and interest generated sort of level. And just please remind me of your first question.
The first one is about testimonials. Okay, how to get a good testimonial from our customer. How to motivate customers to share testimonials.
I think the first and foremost is, from my experience, is that us as SMEs, we need to remember to ask for testimonials. Yeah, so many times we are just sort of focused on, you know, all the tasks that we need to do and everything that we need to do, that a lot of the times we actually forget to ask. Yeah, so we can again create, like we have on Facebook, you can create a very simple, post for it. But I think the best thing to do is that when you engage your customers or somebody purchase your products, when the iron is still hot, then they have your products, they're happy with it, you write to them either on WhatsApp, or you DM in a social media platforms, or you're using the email. You ask them politely, can they write you 1 or 2 sentences, you know, about their experience on your product. So whatever platform that you've been communicate with them, ask them. Yeah, that is the first and most important step. And then you can maybe, you know, you have asked 10 people and you will get 1 or 2 testimonials. But we, as I say, I will start again, you know, we as small business owners, we need to remember also to ask. Yeah, because people are busy. People have, you know, lots on their plates. So A, ask, B, sometimes maybe sort of remind them a week later, and, you know, just keep asking them. Yeah, whatever platforms you're using, is it the email, social media, WhatsApp, direct messaging, look under your reviews on your Facebook pages. You know, are you getting any reviews there? Yeah, can you contact the people, and then you ask them to make a review of your product or the service, or just the general experience that they can share with the public. I hope that helps, Elvira. Any other experience that you heard from SMEs that would use?
I think it will be good as well for our SMEs today to share some experience as well. So maybe someone can unmute and share some experience related to testimonials and how they use testimonials in their businesses and social media marketing. So maybe someone can share something with us.
Love to hear. We would love to hear.
Yeah. Feel free to unmute yourself and share some of your experience or maybe challenges.
Hi, everybody. Dan here from Zambia.
Hi, Dan.
What
Hello,
we
Dan.
did was we used family and friends. So we used family and friends to start with at first, because we really struggled to ask our customers. And then what we did on our website, we would then quote, just putting a first name so that the person can't really be identified, obviously for security reasons. And then after that, as we would sell, we would tell people, hey, feel free to go look at the testimonials we have on our website, and you can add one if you please. And then that's how we addressed that issue.
Very good tip. Start with family and friends. But one thing that you never do is fib and make them up. Please, let's keep that sort of a level that
100%.
Isn't it? And, no fibbing, no making.
So these would be 100%. So these would be family and friends who support the business.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Absolutely. Okay. Anyone else? Okay, let me just finish that. I think I will need to sort of, for those of you who have medium-sized companies and businesses, some of them sort of marketing tech trends in 2023. We're talking about AI. Of course, we cannot have a conversation around digital marketing without the AI these days, and ChatGPT or Jasper or the others, which are really interesting. And unfortunately, as we know, in Southern Africa and African countries, they are not available to us, unfortunately, but I think they will, or if you're able to use VPN, you can sort of get sort of access to some of those tools, which are very useful. But we have to be aware of the advantages and disadvantages of using these tools. Another one for the medium-sized companies or bigger companies, obviously, to understand their audiences is the customer relation management systems. To really dig in and not rely on our memories or who are our customers. Do we need to follow up with them? So that's another tool and another big box that, it's not necessarily applicable to SMEs, but it should be as well. The next one, the trend that is really coming is voice search. Basically searching the Googles and Bings using voice and not typing anymore. Another one that it's emerging is interactive marketing, where the businesses are investing into gaming, quizzes, all of these interactive sort of type of content that is serving as marketing tools then at the same time. Another trend is for the obviously bigger companies, the employee advocacy, where the employees are promoting the business. They are really writing about the business as well, because we know that, the ordinary people, us, like if we are employees, people feel that it's much more realistic than when the CEO is talking. And then lastly is all about the big data with personalization, We have seen that on some of the big websites, you know, that people are, you know, the brands are sort of maybe following you with the display marketing, and they will display the latest pair of shoes or something that you were searching on their website, and they're collecting a lot of data in order to give you a very personalized content. All of us know, for example, Netflix, or lots of us, and we will get an email with something that we have recently watched, and then as an example, and then they will make other suggestions of the for example, things that we might be interested in. But again, there is a caveat around that, you know, that this is not really for SMEs, as much as we are putting it out there for people, things like the CRM, customer relations management system. We should be there. There is a very good one which doesn't cost any money. It's called Streak. And it's a link to those of you who are using Google and Gmail. You can do it as a sort of the extension, and you can start looking how that whole CRM works. So basically, I will finish here and open for discussion and questions. And I hope that this was of value to all of you and or some of you. And yeah, if we can just move on to maybe any questions and comments.
Actually, we have a question concerning Google Analytics. If there is another option for free.
Google Analytics is always free. Let me just try and unshare the screen here. I don't know if it's, are we still, oh yeah, we can, yeah. Google Analytics are free. It does cost to set it up. Yeah, one of my experiences are that some of the website developers, we need to.
Hello, Nicolina.
Hi, I'm back. I don't know what happened. I just disappeared.
Welcome.
Okay. A question on analytics. Have you, I don't know if you, how much did you hear?
Actually, if you can repeat, please, Nicolina.
Okay. So what I was saying is that the Google Analytics is, as an application, it's free. What it does cost is the initial setup. And for that, you should be engaging the website developer. Personally, I got so muddled that, you know, I sort of gave up on it as well. But it's usually sort of like possibly, you know, 1 hour of website developers' time. And then what is important that you also ask the website developer to make sure that it's sent, that you receive a weekly reports, that you receive those, because they are automated and they are also free of charge. Yeah, they are generated from the Google Analytics platform, and basically you decide and you say, I want to receive it on a Monday first thing, or Friday, you know, or whichever day of the week you want, and it's part of what your website developer is. But as I say, some of you who are more technically savvy than me, you can try and link up your website with it. I sort of, honestly speaking, I gave up and I gave it to her, and I paid that 1 hour of development to my developer, and it's working perfectly. But please be aware that, you know, you shouldn't be charged for that on a weekly, monthly basis, because those reports are generated by Google and they can be pushed to your email automatically. I hope that helps, but if not, please, you know, link up with me on LinkedIn and let's continue that conversation. Okay.
Please feel free to unmute and ask Nicolina directly any question, or if you prefer, you can add to the chat as well.
can we maybe have if somebody has a good example of, for example, the micro-influencers? Or
Hello?
any influencers marketing experience? Anyone can share that?
Hello?
Hi.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes. Israel, is it?
Yeah, Israel. I'm Israel. I'm from Ghana.
Hi, Israel.
I'm from Ghana.
Oh, welcome.
Thank you. I started blogging some few months ago, but my views are not encouraging, so I don't know how to increase my views. Those who visit my site.
Okay. What
Yeah,
other?
so I want to find. I want to find means of increasing my viewers on the site.
And Isram, what other channels have you got?
I'm using a blogger, Google Blogger.
Okay. Do you have any social media platforms, accounts?
Yes.
Which ones?
I have Facebook, I have LinkedIn, I have Twitter as well.
Okay, all right. So when it comes, when are you? Let's go to those foundations, which is a great question. Thank you, Isram. So you have now invested in all of those, sort of like you're creating the content. You have a blogger sort of account. You're doing great. What you need to work towards is to understand that the website is at the core of your digital marketing, and then you are using different digital marketing channels to almost like amplify what you are doing on your website. Okay, so every time you write, what does that mean practically? Every time that you write a piece of content on your blogger, then you take that content, we call it curation of that content. Maybe you want to be blogging, Googling that, curating of content. You will take that piece of content, being you copying the URL of that content, that blog, and then you will seed it onto your social media platforms. Isram, have you done that?
Yes, at
Okay.
times.
At times, yes. Yeah. Okay. And so you then, are you using very freely the WhatsApp as well? So try and use it in a particular forums, both all of the social media and in a relevant forums on WhatsApp. But you know, it is not something that Islam is going to happen overnight. You have to be persistent for, you know, probably a few weeks, if not a couple of months, and continuously posting this content and seeding it on different channels around where you have done your homework to know that people who are have interest in your product or services are. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. But you know, reach out to me and we can chat more.
Okay, thank you.
Pleasure. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so maybe till we just sort of maybe to conclude, the digital trends really for 2023 are a really good combination of things that we are seeing that we need to do as a foundation, and also now look at the things that where our audiences are moving, where our audiences are, where they're moving, what tools that they're using, and wherever possible, try and get the data from everything. So, you know, on Facebook, for example, you know, some of my clients are sort of selling their products as part of their profile. You don't get any data if you are selling and promoting your products or services on your profile. You should be moving to the pages, and therefore when you have 300 or more followers, you're starting to get very valuable marketing data that you're slowly learning. What does it mean? And how can you then utilize it better? And based on that, create better content. Let's not forget, in digital marketing, everything is about creating the content that is resonating or speaking to the targeted audiences that who are your potential customers. And then that content needs to be informative, education, a lot of the time of educational nature. It can be humorous and needs to be timely. Okay, so yeah, if I can leave it at that. Elvira?
I think we don't have questions in the chat. So if anyone would like to ask any question, please feel free. Any question? So I think we are ready to end up the session. Thank you, Nicolina. Actually, I'm checking. How about email marketing?
Yay.
Is it relevant in 2023?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. I'm so glad Shad has asked that question, because we are talking about social media so much, but we need to understand that social media is great for lead generation, but ultimately, just the same way as we are aspiring to have the website, we also need to build our email marketing list. Yeah, and it's not for bombarding people and making that we now start spamming them, but we know that email marketing is producing a return of the investment for every dollar invested, approximately, different figures, but let's round it up to around $40 for every dollar invested. And that is huge. And that's a huge return on the investment. And therefore, we should be, as in this digital day and age, email marketing is certainly not dead. It is thriving, but we need to know as SMEs how to manage email marketing, how to write good emails which don't end up in a spam, and how we don't send it just from Google, but use some of those applications like a MailChimp, where we can have first 2,000 subscribers for free, a MailerLite as well. So there's a lot of others as well. But, email marketing is absolute necessity. And we need to also make sure that we are not buying lists from other businesses which are not related to us, because we need to learn, and this is from us as SMEs, to try and educate ourselves further and further in some of these fields that are critical for our business. Is that the SEO? Is that UX design? Is that maybe a little bit of programming if you need it in your business? That us as business owners educate ourselves in this field and learn some of the basics of email marketing, yeah, which is producing this massive return on the investment, which supersedes all the other channels, including social media for sure.
Hello?
Yes, hi.
So can I ask the last question?
Absolutely.
Okay, so concerning the email marketing.
Yes.
So how did I generate those emails before doing the marketing? Do I have to ask individual their emails before getting those emails to start the marketing with them?
Yes.
That's my question.
Yes, you have. You have to also be very clear on one thing. What are your country-specific laws, rules and regulations? Yeah, there are specific, for example, in Europe is a GDPR, California has its own. So, you need to first and foremost Google and find out, is there any particular laws of your country or the region, yeah, that prohibit you just going to people's, for example, website and picking up the email addresses.
Okay.
Do you need to have a written consent to use their email in your email marketing? Yeah, that's the first step. And second, as you said, you need to, it's probably the best that you ask them in again, the communication, is that on WhatsApp or is that on the direct messaging or email, that you ask them, do I have a permission to put you on my email marketing list? Yeah. Okay. So that is very important. But first and foremost, if you have clients in Europe, you as a business need to comply with European laws. Okay.
Okay.
So just be aware of that.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Okay.
We have Dan. Dan, do you have a question?
Yes, I typed a question earlier. It may have been missed, but my question was related to how do you tailor digital marketing strategies to different cultural and linguistic contexts in sub-Saharan Africa? So where I live in Zambia, beyond race, we have different cultures. I've put an example here of English and Arabic cultures, which is obviously common in West Africa, East Africa, and with ACFTA, sorry, I struggle to say it. You know, we have a huge audience, but sometimes I wonder if it is as good as simply translating the text narrative into their language, or you really need to understand more of the cultures to be able to target those different demographics.
Yes, absolutely. The more you understand the culture, this cultural sort of norms, even the linguistic sort of, we all have, you know, even for example, in Zambia and Zimbabwe, you know, we speak English, but, you know, some of you who are from Zimbabwe know what Zesa is, and nobody else will know what Zesa is, for example. It's our electricity company, which is affecting digital marketing, isn't it? Yeah. So the short answer is yes. It is not all about just the translating, putting it in Arabic or putting into the dialect as well, because yeah, it just won't resonate with your potential customers. You need to bring your content closer to them by really having someone on a team from that, you know, northern Zambia is very different from Lusaka, isn't it?
You know, Nicolina, I'll give a perfect example of Nando's. Nando's adverts in South Africa versus a Nando's advert in Australia are totally different, but they've understood the cultural dynamics well, down to the level of slang words.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, yeah. Difficult for you as a business.
Trying to learn how to figure that out.
Yeah, basically trying to find the looking for local experts and looking for young people, you know, digital and social media marketers who are dynamic in a community and will understand that finesse, but obviously that comes as a cost to the business, isn't it? Thank you for that question. That was very, very interesting. And the short answer is yes, you must sort of get closer to any demographic. And that's knowing your audiences, really, knowing those avatars, knowing people closely, what sort of ticks them and what puts them off and so forth. Very, very important to understand these cultural differences. Okay.
Any other questions?
Okay, that's perfect. And as I say, lots of you, I hope that we can stay in contact either through this platform or on LinkedIn. If you have any questions, you know, need to have a chat, you can come to the website that was at the beginning of this recording. A simple URL is nkdigital.co.zw. And over there, you can actually book a free chat with me. So you will see my calendar, and we can take it from there to help you with some of your social media or digital marketing strategies. Stay in contact and stay in touch.
Thank you, Nicolina. Thank you for the opportunity. So I think you will have some requests recently. So I'm happy to hear that you are able to support our community with more capacity building, and maybe in one-on-one session, it will be much more easier for them to ask directly questions and share concerns. Today's sessions was very good. A lot of information, a lot of trends to follow, a lot of skills to learn. I think it will be good also based on your availability. Maybe we can have like a dedicated session later on, maybe on email marketing, on content marketing. We will see.
And maybe
but
websites,
I think it was
let's
exactly
look at websites and some of the unpack all of that to give value to everyone. Yeah,
indeed. So thank you. Thanks a lot for the session. I think we all got new information, new skills to think about and to start learning. As you mentioned, it's always a non-stop journey with learning. So we, especially in everything related to technology, to tech, to e-commerce, to digital marketing, unfortunately, but we need to keep going.
Keep going, keep learning.
So thank you for the motivation today. I think a lot of the attendees, they got a lot of new thoughts and new plans for upcoming months and maybe for 2023. So I think it will be good to hear from them as well. They can share their feedback on Ecom Connect also. They can contact you directly on Ecom Connect as well, not only on the website, if they feel like more free to do that through the platform. But I think it will be good as well to hear from them after a while. What are the main challenges and where they are looking for a certain support in digital marketing. So based on that, we can organize additional sessions and have like more technical details shared later on.
Yes, we're getting a few chats here. Thank you very much. And as I say, it's do stay in touch. And we need to share our knowledges and experiences. This is where, we are connected. Yeah,
exactly.
Yes, yeah. Okay, well, bye for now, and all the best. And thank you again for EcoConnect for this opportunity.
Thank you for the session today.
Pleasure. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Bye. Bye. Lovely. Okay, bye for now, Elvira. Speak soon.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.